move it over so you have less of the wall on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, where are you going to be standing?
So Zach and Cindy, you're going to be right here in this area.
Depends. Who's involved?
Like this?
Delana, would you tell Kenny to have everybody come in so we can get started?
Aaron, how you doing, brother? Yeah, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. You brought the boss with you? Yes.
You certainly should.
Yes, she should. She knows how to pull the strings and all that. Yes, she should.
All right, everybody, we're going to get ready. If you can find your seats and find your inside voices to whisper and mock me quietly, please, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Kevin, are you driving here?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started. And as we start, just so you can kind of connect with the people who are here, because I know we have some new faces and we have some returning folks. I just want everybody to go around real quick, just say your name and say kind of which area of town that you guys are coming from. So who wants to start us off? Wes, thank you for volunteering.
Hi, I'm Wes. I live down in Amsterdam, which is about 45 minutes south. Kind of midways down the next county.
Thanks for driving down to us, Wes.
Hi, I'm Gary. I'm from Topeka, so I've been to the Topeka meeting once, maybe. So, but I wanted to come up here and check it out.
Thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Jay, High Fight Rooms. I'm from North East Summit area.
Nice. Thanks for coming, Jay.
I'm Bobby. Hello, I'm from Topeka.
Do you like that, Bobby?
I do.
Yeah.
I hate being from Topeka.
Why do you think I left?
Yeah, I want to be from away from Topeka. That's the next time we go. I'm Bobby. I'm no longer.
Love that. Love that.
Good man, King.
Who we got next?
I'm Patrick. I'm not from Topeka.
Yeah.
Long time listener, first time caller. Glad to be here.
There's somebody behind you.
Oh, this is who is this? Oh, this is my wife.
You ought to know after 24 years.
Thank you, Wes. We're doing fine, Tara.
Happy anniversary to both of you.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you, sir.
I'm Sam. I'm from down by Joplin.
Not from Topeka.
Not
Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Are we, is everybody here?
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
PJ.
If they're in the way.
Not from this area or Topeka, so Johnson County.
Nice. There you go.
Alright, I'm introduced with this. I'm Steve. Kelly, my wife. We're from Trimble.
Very nice. Who else we got?
I'm Gavin. I'm from Lee Summit in this area.
Gavin is our camera guy today. Thanks for showing up, Gavin. We won't hold the Taylor Swift hoodie against you. I know your girl from
Me too. I am Kenny. This is my wife Elena. We got 3 little ones around here. We've been doing midlife preparedness for a couple years now. We do homesteading, bees, cows, goats, chickens.
And where are you guys?
We're up north here about an hour, like in Polo-ish area.
Nice.
In the Missouri side.
Nice.
Amanda.
Thanks for coming by.
Listen, thanks.
Awesome. We have some of the team members here as well. So guys, just introduce yourselves as well.
I'm Zach. I'm from Wichita.
You're from Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
Independence.
Independence, listen.
Also this is my husband Zach.
What's the question?
Where are you located?
Quiet.
I'm talking.
My name is Craig, and I live in Kearney, Missouri.
Also not Topeka.
You got it all right. Good job.
I can't spell it.
And Craig's real wife is Sydney.
She's
while. Thank you guys all for coming out here. For those of you who know or don't know, this is the Lee Summit Mag Group, produced by the Midwest Preparedness Project, and the gentleman in the back, Bobby and Patrick, are actually the president and vice president, not from Topeka, that run that group, and they had started doing the monthly meetings out in Topeka, so we decided, Zach, Craig, myself, Aaron, Gavin's father, Brian, and then I think did he like steal out again? Is Chris?
He just walked that way.
Okay, we have a silent partner, Chris, as well. And so the six of us, as a set of families, were kind of doing some of these things once a month. We were at Zach's house butchering animals, we were at Craig's house building fences, and then we saw what the Midwest Preparedness Project was doing. And they started doing this mag, so we really jumped in and we were like, hey, what is this mag? And they told us, this is a mutual group, we're not doing this together, we're not building lone wolves. And for us, that's pretty important because the six of us, as families getting together, kids have to be a part of this, our spouses have to be a part of this. This is not a militia group of any kind, this is not a group to do things on your own. It's a group to share, to give, and to provide resources together. That's where the assistance part comes in, and then obviously at the group level, this is a community. So we're doing this once a month. We're doing this on the second Sunday here at Bridge Space, but we once a quarter actually, if you know anything about Lee Summit, there is the Gavin, what's the wonderful name of the place your sister? The Lee Summit Longview Mansion. They actually will host us once a month for free, so we actually get to go tour the mansion and host our potlucks that we're going to do once a quarter for free over there at the Longview Mansion as part of this. So if you guys want to see that, our Facebook group will have that. This is just a shot of one of the tables. If you guys do get a chance to go to the Topeka Mag as well, they usually have a healthy group of about 50 or more people who show up to that one. And they are on the other Sunday of the month. Ours is going to be the second Sunday. There's the Facebook group, if you don't already know about that. And then the Topeka Mag is directly under the Facebook group for the Midwest Preparedness Project. I've got a QR code that works this week. Might not work next week, but if you want to join that group and see where the Topeka meetups are going to be and what content they're going over. And then for anyone who's not aware yet, Midwest Preparedness Project is doing a spring festival. It usually brings between 400 and 500 people out for a full week over by Lake Clinton. So we've got a full week-long event. Bobby, do you want to say anything or give any highlights about some of the speakers that are getting ready to be a part of that for us?
Yeah, May 5 to May 10, come out. We have 3 presentations per day starting Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday is at 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, and a 3 o'clock. And then we have special events each of those nights as well, including a couple of events that are father only. We have the potluck, we have some giveaways for both the children and the adults. We kind of hinted at a couple of our speakers. So that information's already public, but there is a 99% chance that you're going to get to meet Randall from the YouTube channel Grunt Proof. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard who that is, but he's going to be out as our main speaker on Saturday.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that with us, Bobby. So I'm going to introduce today's content. We're doing the non-lethal personal defense and de-escalation. I've got Zach here and Sydney who are going to come up. Would you actually give your background, Sydney, as kind of why you're not just the female here, you actually have a little bit of a background that I'd like people to know.
Yeah. I was 5 years as a military police officer, and then I guess, I did 4 years ROTC on top of that. So, I got stationed out here at Leavenworth and worked in the prison for all 5 years of that. So, a lot of this non-lethal stuff is what we had to rely on, whether I wanted to or not. So.
Thanks. And Zach, you have quite a background in this as well, if you want to give us that.
Well, I was a jailer in Sedgwick County, which is in Wichita, Kansas, for 5 years. And then I was in the Army for National Guard in Kansas for a contract. I didn't do any deployments, but overall this non-lethal stuff is absolutely what we used. Not prison, but a lot of stuff going on there. So lower security meant more often than not you were using this probably a couple times a week if you weren't paying attention. So that was a big deal for us. This is huge. Not necessarily here, but that was very common. We used it a lot.
Yeah, so your guys' industry required a lot of that, and as we know with the kind of landscape that the world is in right now, there are increasingly becoming more and more situations, even in our daily lives, where some of this stuff is going to be practical, unfortunately, but we want to have ourselves prepared. So Zach and Sydney, if you guys will come up and give us the rundown, and we will listen and pay attention and not joke about it.
Well.
So now that you guys have a little bit of information about us, I'm normally not someone that I'm normally like the yes man, the fixer that kind of disappears to go fix the problem. But I know kind of Sydney's the same way. So even though you have that amount of experience, you're not necessarily signing up to be the person that's out in front. So even you're going to be stumbling around with how much experience we have about it. Just it's different. But so if you guys will kind of bear with us while we kind of stumble through this. We're talking about the first thought process was the awareness and your surroundings. Just the main thing that I kind of was taught right off the bat was just what kind of awareness level you're at. Are you at white? Are you at yellow? Are you at, we called it black or red, but black because you'd probably be dead. So most people just kind of carry themselves at that white, where they're more sheep than sheepdog or wolf. They're just kind of flowing along, assuming that everybody's going to be okay, and that's kind of where the problem starts, if you kind of think about it like that. So.
And it's especially like I'm glad to be here on not behalf of women, but you know there's always a different perspective in the way that we handle things. Like especially us as women, sometimes just the way that you're raised socially, culturally, just the conversations around it that we understand. Sometimes your awareness peaks and you're like, no, that's not a thing. No, it's not. But like if it feels like it's off, it is. Trust it. Trust that gut. Always.
So main thought process here is talking about pressure points.
Wait, can we step back? I think there was those two extra points.
You go back, yeah. We're going to start with the distance. Yeah. So distance is key. You know, somebody's from me to you, like you got some kind of response here, but if it's closer, that's where you want to start clocking stuff depending on how good your eyesight is. I've got decent eyesight, but once you start to pick them out, you got to keep an eye on doors and other things. We all kind of think about this maybe, but really it's kind of a big deal.
I think you'll see in a later slide it says like someone who's trying to like apprehend or get to you can move, I think it's like 21 feet in like a second and a half. So that response time has got to be quick. And our goal today is to really not teach you all of these super cool moves that are gonna like come through your way out of some stuff. It's the concepts, so that when you get in that moment, you don't freeze, you're not overwhelmed. It's just be conscious, be aware, create distance, and go. Just get out. Keep yourself safe.
If you can kind of move from that white awareness level to a little bit closer to yellow, that's what we're kind of moving. Pressure points. We're going to start with just going over the idea of temple, scapular, radial nerve, median. Keep going through these as we're getting into more sensitive areas. Shins hurt and Achilles tendons as well. So.
Yeah. So kind of just to recount what I just said to us, so focus on avoidance, escape, and disengagement is really the key there. You're not trying to fight anybody or anything. It's just that's not what this scenario is built for. I know a lot of us in this frame of mind of preparation usually have some pretty nice guns involved in our lives, but sometimes the reaction time isn't there. Sometimes the lethality that can be the consequence of that isn't always worth it. Sometimes you just want to get home to your family. And so we pray on how to do that.
I started one.
So we're going to go ahead and start giving a couple of examples of stuff, but we're going to go over and talk through it first. The main first concept is the I'm not even sure how to say that word. subclavian manual pressure point, which is kind of if you touch your clavicle here with your own thumb, closer you get to that kind of notch on that bone there, and you kind of push past that and down.
You'll know you hit it because as soon as you hit it, you go,
So, and,
So like that body map showed, there's a lot of pressure points, and it would take a long time to teach them all today. It takes a minute to get that feel for finding them and actually understanding how to use them. But we at least wanted to introduce conceptually that there are a lot of avenues that you can even go and read further into beyond what we teach today to really arm yourself and prepare yourself in that way too.
anywhere, I'm a dad, so I got 5 sons of my own. Anywhere that you would tickle your kid, it's probably got some closeness to that. So you go from play to hurt pretty quick with that. Awareness before distance. Awareness before action, distance before contact, balance and phase control, limited and responsible force. We don't know what to do. I don't want to do this. So,
you want to go past those, or?
I'm not sure.
Well, I think a lot of it is ways that you can engage your environmental awareness, ways that you can, like the different systems you can use. The visual system, obviously, just looking around, seeing what people look shady and what don't. Are they walking a little too fast? Is this? But then that vestibular, like, you know that feeling when you're like, something's behind me, something's following me. It's your vestibular. It's a spatial thing that your body can sense. Something is closing in on that space, and if you feel it, lean into it, trust it. Did you?
Yeah, are we allowed to ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Totally.
So my daughter's 27, mother of 2, and she called me the other day, and I raised my kids that somebody's gonna get you. So, like, they, one's completely needed therapy, and the other one's like, yeah, mom, like, I'm on it, and this is the one that's on it. So, and she's like, I'm at Sprouts, which she never thought, and she always usually carries, but she wasn't. She had her kids with her, and she's like, something's wrong. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I have 2 guys following me. They're not picking up anything in the store.
Yeah.
And I know I'm seeing them. I feel them. I feel them in peripheral. I'm changing my pathways to do different things, and they're still following me. I said, go get somebody and talk to them. Just say, I'm uncomfortable. I said, do not go out to your car.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not. She goes, they waited out there for her.
Any store you go to, you can request someone to walk you out too.
And that's what I said. I said, and she goes, I waited a good 10, 15 minutes.
Good for her.
And I finally said, and I stayed on the phone with me, and I said, okay, what you need to do is go talk to them and ask them to walk you out. And then that lets them be aware, but it was 3 people. It was a woman and 2 men. And she didn't catch the woman at first, and then she goes, I think there's a woman involved in this. And I was like, just be prepared. And I'm so thankful that I was able to teach her to constantly be aware of what's going around.
Yeah,
really. Like, come on up here and help us out.
On my day off this week, I'm going to Sprouts. I'm just walking around.
But that's so important.
Tell her to contact management and get off the phone and call 911 immediately. Tell them that you have sex traffickers follow. Because they will come out. They will actually come out to Sprouts unannounced, like it's a shoplifting call. And then they'll take context and video, and then they'll go out to their car and maybe arrest them as well.
Okay. I know that Sprouts was very concerned about it.
Yes. Every store is very proactive about it anymore. Because it's become such a prevalent issue.
Yeah. And that's where, like, I'm gonna even double down on this point, like, especially your daughter having 2 kids, like, if you hadn't taught her that, and, the world gets to do the messaging, it's usually, I'm being over dramatic. I'm probably worried about nothing. I shouldn't be worried about this, or I'm gonna cause a problem if I call the police or I get a manager. That's never the case. Well, especially when there's kids involved, but even just on your own, like, that's just never the case. If it feels off, it's really
and sometimes it's something where your daughter picked up that, and sometimes it's where it's much more overt. So, just from my own personal experience, and Kyle can attest to this, is anybody aware of the Worlds of Fun evacuation that happened a couple months ago?
Yep.
I had myself, my brother-in-law, who is my sister's widower, and then my sister, and 9 children with us. During that, we were in that evacuation. So we were probably 30-minute walk with children from being able to get out that front door. And it started off real kind of like, you can feel the energy change. It wasn't as subtle as picking it up. There was a cop that walked by telling people, hey, go home. Everybody, go home. And it kind of got crazier as we got closer to the gate. So it's where you're kind of engaging that whole body. You know, I had my oldest with me, who was 14 and taller than me. So I told him, hey man, whoever I engage with first, you watch what I do, because I haven't done a lot of this with him yet. Since then, I'm doing more. But just told him, whatever you see me do, the next person, you try to just monkey see, monkey do that. Just to where you can get these kids out. Immediately, you know, my brother-in-law's holding the kid, it's the smallest on his side. Luckily, I didn't have anybody that wasn't walking on their own, but it's just kind of like the worst nightmare for a parent to be out there in the craziness and something goes sideways, you know, whether it's crush or something else. So it's not always that far away from reality. So, yes.
What did actually end up happening? Because we had some locals who said, hey, yeah, there were gunshots, but then on the news they were saying, oh, it was a false alarm.
Rival gangs of Somali pirates. Yeah.
It's like almost made up. That world does not sound fun anymore.
To be honest, I heard everything from fireworks to car backfire. I heard that there was possibly actual gunshots. I didn't actually ever hear any gunshots of my own, but the way that the police responded, they were not walking. Everybody was guns drawn, biggest thing that they had at their disposal.
Whatever you heard on the news, that probably wasn't it.
Yeah. But we're all probably aware of how they're kind of cracking down on not having minors without parental attention. I watched, even before that, 4 or 5 kids get pulled out, like physically, 4 people at one point, person on each corner, carried out. So not that was all related, but it kind of went a little sideways that night. So it just kind of started to build on itself. But I just bring that up because you never know, like you brought up, you think this is
there to wind down.
Yeah. With my
instead.
nieces and nephews and baby. Yeah.
Well, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to actually even just share on the opposite end of what you guys just said about not having awareness and what can happen when you don't have awareness, because that is honestly where I am. Like, I grew up very oblivious, very naive, very like, I'm safe all the time, like, nothing's ever gonna hurt me. And that has like always been my mindset. And I remember being in a parking lot. This happened like a few years ago. It was nighttime, it was Halloween night. And these 3 young black men start walking towards me, and I went, oh! And then I was like, that's so silly. And you're like, you're just doing that because of stereotypes. And I was like, okay, instantly calm down and just start walking to my car. No, they robbed me at gunpoint. And it's obviously it's not in any way because they're black, but it was like, I turned off the awareness because I went, oh, that's a stereotype. Don't listen to that. But actually, hey, they're walking towards you quickly. That's something you should be paying attention to. Hey, it's nighttime. There's no reason they should be walking towards you at all. Like, you're in a parking lot by yourself. There were other 3, but I just blocked it out because I was like, oh, a stereotype came to your mind and you need to shove that away. But there's other factors at play that you should be zoning in or honing in on, which I have never thought about nor been privy to. And thankfully I didn't get hurt at all and they just took my stuff, but I was like very in shock, like, what is happening? Like, it was a weird situation, but yeah, so be aware, not like me.
Yeah, that's where you say, like, you know, the gut, we always talk about, like, trust your gut, but, like, your body will tap into that stuff before your brain has to catch up and might even, in that sense, try and combat it. If your body feels it, just, that's what I would always teach people.
Be safe and sorry. So thank you for sharing that, both of you guys, and that moment will sit with us for, like, a long, all our lives, for sure. So we're going to go into this actual kind of physical side of what we're going to be learning about today. Like Sydney brought up, that 21-foot rule is a myth. A knife attacker can get over 21 feet in just 1.5 seconds faster than you can pull a gun. Like, we've all been hearing about the news where someone was run over and ended up getting shot from that. Like, that was with the car, much less a knife. Overall,
See, I think we're talking kind of into now that second step of you're aware something's up, or like you have someone who is actually pursuing you, and they're moving in. once you get under that 21 feet, it's like, okay, now it's just keep myself safe right now. And that's where you start to try and kind of position yourself in a way that if I'm gonna have to keep safe, that I'm gonna be ready for this. And it's a lot of thought process that has to happen in a short time. So that's why we're trying to teach minimal and conceptual. You know.
It's those simple ideas like it's not just when you're walking along the sidewalk and you have your spouse, if you're a female or male or whatever, but you have the smaller spouse sitting on the inside of the yeah. If I have my spouse, I want to be on the street side. Yes. But how do you do that with kids? You know, I think we're talking about just having that thought on your mind to think about what you would do. Yes.
Well, you guys are talking about a big close space, and going off what she said, and more recent news, for instance, the gal and the kid that were stabbed leaving the store with a grocery cart. What? Oh, we haven't.
I didn't hear that.
Was that local? Sorry.
No, it wasn't local.
Okay.
I just was thinking, like, and then for a while there, they were saying, try to place the buggy between you and your loading.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you view as the best option?
Whatever you have at
even though
hand.
you're paying attention, if you have a little one, like in that case.
Yeah.
It's all going to be situational. We can't really give you too much.
I think the core concept there is like, okay, awareness, something's off. Now you want that distance to buy you time. If that buggy's gonna do it, do it. Like if you can, whatever you can perceive as the best option. And if you don't have something at hand, that's where the scenarios that we'll go through will be best. But yeah, it's like take that cart and put that between, buy yourself distance, and that will buy you time. That's that. If there's a main goal we could teach, that's it.
Just be careful with, especially the grocery store or even parking lot example. Don't put yourself between the vehicle and the buggy, because they'll then use the buggy to smash into you and disable you.
Yeah.
So you always want your cart up against the bumper of your vehicle, so you have it blocking from an angle, but don't ever be pulling the groceries from a buggy that could push into you and push you into the cart, because you're making it easier for anyone who's trying to incapacitate. So just have your grocery cart up against the bumper or up against the side of your vehicle. Obviously get your kids into the vehicle first, and those are small things that you can do. But one of the things they taught us in the security class for non-lethal is keep the buggy up against your vehicle whenever you're loading or unloading stuff. That way you're creating an L-shaped barrier between you and if something happens, or if you see someone that you feel might be following you and you can't do anything in that moment besides call 911, the buggy up against the vehicle, not you in between the grocery cart and the vehicle, is the best thing to do.
And I don't know if this is going to be in I didn't do a very good job, forgive me, going through these.
Put your kid in, yeah. I mean, that might be unavoidable if someone's trying to do true harm like that. We can't necessarily avoid a death when someone's got an intention like that. But like I said before, you do any loading or unloading, your best thing to do is get your kids secured into the vehicle before you do any of that.
I want to add something real quick. Sydney always says that I have unbelievable luck with finding parking spots everywhere we go. And I think it's just, I have a weird patience when it comes to parking spots because I grew up in the city. I just know that, okay, if I take another lap, maybe another lap around the block, if I go a little slower and don't mind the person behind me thinking I'm going slow, I'm going to find a closer spot. It just happens. So I wait maybe 5 minutes and I always find a good spot. And I think if I'm with my kids going to the grocery store, find the closest spot to the store. And if you don't see one, take another little lap. There's people leaving all the time. So I try to find the closest spot, especially Costco. I mean, that place is a madhouse. I'm not parking
a mile away.
When if I'm with the kids, I just always think of it because I know they're going to be running around. I know it's just something I naturally do. So I always just recommend that if that is a concern, get as close to that door as you can. Wait another 5 minutes to find that good spot.
So would that be better than going, like, I tend to go the opposite. I usually go further so I can be away from other vehicles and see.
So you're protecting that 21-foot bubble. I mean, you kind of are pushing your awareness out and saying, hey, like if I'm too close, I'd like to be able to have more awareness.
but you're
I
kind
don't
of,
think there's only one right way.
yeah,
Like,
and that's, you're kind of playing this, getting into the weeds of it, because the next time you might have some little detail that's different, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, I think about it where you're pushing your perception out into a bubble, like the force and whatever nerdy stuff you do. No, the
Force?
The force.
Just watch a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. But just trying
Pretty
to
good
push.
at sword fighting.
Yeah, you're trying to push your awareness as far out as you can. I'm a truck driver, so I have a CDL, so I'm driving a truck, going 80 miles an hour. I know I don't have much stopping distance, like response time, so I try to push out my view 500, 600, 800 feet. That's way more than what we're going to be doing, you know, every day as we're walking. But just push that out and see, and kind of play in your mind if scenario. If I'm doing this, then what? Because the more that you do that, the more your body's going to be keyed up. And they say that even just the imagining of it is practice. Even just going, okay, well, if I was here and somebody came from this angle, what would I be doing that way? And those kind of, you just keep playing those scenarios out. That muscle that you're building would allow you to be able to get a little bit more of a kind of snap judgment. And remember that you're not just trying to put a cart in between. You can yell at them and freak people out.
Create attention.
Yeah, create attention.
Create a ton of attention.
You start saying some crazy, excuse me, my French, shit to somebody, and they're like, hey, whoa, I'm just trying to walk past you, you know, or they might want to go the other way, or whatever it might be. Start bringing attention to yourself, and start, not to yourself, but you think someone's actually coming for you. Hey, guy, you got my money? I've been looking for you. What? They've been looking for me? What does that mean? You know, just try to throw them off if you really feel it.
Yes, sometimes expanding your awareness is also expanding the awareness of around you, so then it becomes a group effort too. So if you're making those loud noises, you're gonna watch the people next to you start to peek up and be like, oh, what's going on, and see something happening too.
Yeah, if they can get close to you, just what if thing, and nobody know, then you just disappear, whatever. But if you can be able to have someone go, I saw her, she was 300 feet that way, but she was loud as shit, you know, that at least somebody is tracking, you know. If somebody can just pick a hill to die on and whatever. So, no, I'm too intense on this and I got a little too much caffeine in my system.
One really practical tip for little kids, my kids aren't so little anymore, but this was insanely helpful because I have 4. And once you go past 1, it can be very hard to keep track of all of them when you're going through a parking lot, which is the worst time, honestly. That's always the highest point of something could happen, right? So I would always say either put your hand on the cart, or your hand on the car, or your hand on my hip. But it always has to be somewhere. And if you're moving it from the cart, you move your hand to the car, and you have to walk around to your side, holding your hand on the side as you walk all the way around to the other side. And that's so helpful, because there's no way that you can possibly take care of all 4 children at one time. You know, so just having little miniature things in place like that, if you have little ones, can be such a lifesaver.
We also do for our house, like if I'm out shopping with the kids alone, it's different when I'm with him, obviously.
Yeah.
But when it's just me, the kids all get out on one side, my side. Like we're not going on the other side and getting out. Everybody's getting out on my side where
you can see.
I am.
You can see everything.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I've had a few situations, not a few, I guess a couple, in the past, long past, where I didn't feel safe in the parking lot, felt like someone was following me. Hit your car alarm. The car alarm, it draws everybody's attention there, and I literally had a situation where they were coming, and that happened, and they turned around and walked away.
Wow.
That's why I said park as close as you can to the front door,
Yeah.
because I feel as if most store parking lot bugging, if I don't happen near Quincy, if I happen farther away,
Yeah.
someone more susceptible.
Less eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually also have cameras. Closer towards the
But there's people walking in and out transition space. Like if I'm walking to my car and it's happening way out there, I might not realize. But
Well,
if it's happening right in front of me while I'm walking out, who should
I used to be a military wife, and my husband was deployed, and it was just me and the kids. And my neighbor also had the same situation, and you kind of learn in those scenarios. If one of us, we would sleep with our keys. If one of us hit the panic button or the alarm button on our car, the other one would come over with a gun loaded. Like we learned real quick, we mutually assisted each other that way.
That's
so
awesome.
sick. Oh
When you're
my
like,
God.
wow, and you've got so much space in between you. That's honestly a
brilliant kid.
You got like the whole street alarm system.
Yeah.
You can't buy that.
That's why I think that works. God forbid the kid get the biography.
If that's not a plug for a mutual assistance group, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. You can come on up and take the mic.
Ironically, no one can fall asleep now without keys in their hand.
Yeah.
You got like the frog print on the cheek.
We're gonna hear alarms going.
Real quick, I just want to say to Delana and Kelly, thank you very much for validating, because I saw Kelly look at you when you were giving your testimony. She's like, see, I told you I'm not crazy.
And like along those same lines, it's if you have a code word with your kids where we don't F around, we're getting in the car quick, or you guys were not effing around and we're going out of the car. You know, get in the effing car.
We even have like I won't leave the grocery store entrance without the key in my hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you don't even don't stop and look for it. And so the kids will be, let's go out. I was like, hang on, I gotta get my key before we walk out of this door.
Right.
So even teaching them to be aware.
Yeah. It's just tactical awareness. It's these little things that are now being added to our repertoire or shared from our is something where my kids, I always tell them, we're not running in the parking lot. So that when I do tell them to run, now we're serious. You know, Daddy says run. Oh shit, he always says don't run. Now we're running. Okay, I'm sorry to keep on messing. Anyway, yeah. so.
I think the parking lot scenario transitions us really well into this pre-incident indicator slide too. Because I mean, you think about all those examples where somebody in the parking lot, your threat detection system goes off, and usually it's one of these that's doing it. It's someone that is staring at you. They're continuously looking at you. You can feel that stuff too. That's that vestibular too. Like your body knows and feels that. When somebody's staring at you, or like you go down the aisle and you happen to see them there, or you go down the aisle and you happen to see them there, and like, wow, you have an empty cart, sir. This is weird. Or the unnecessary closing of distance, like they're just like beelining towards you. The posture shift, where you can see some of the posture shifts. Sometimes you'll see are stiffened, heightened shoulders. Hands start to tense because it's just things we do as human beings. Like even if that's an assailant, they are still going to get that rush of that cortisol in their body. So they're going to posture up. You're going to see hands. You're going to see, and maybe even like think of literally like a rooster, like that puffing out kind of. Like if you see someone start to do that, or just really straighten themselves up, it's like, something's off, because why are you getting into that posture? Or if there's footsteps start quickening, especially in your direction.
Because they're using that fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Yeah.
We've all been hearing about. They're intentionally moving into that fight part, you know. So do we want to? I don't want to freeze. So what we're trying to kind of teach here is the flight part.
Yeah.
The freeze, we want to kind of try to avoid that. The fight, if we can avoid the fight completely, my goodness, I'd rather do that. You know what I mean? So.
And the other one there, the verbal boundary testing. That's another one I've seen in parking lots a lot. It's like someone's walking a little too quick, and they're like, "Can I help you with your groceries?" And you're just like, "No, sir, not today." No. And usually, if that is someone that is trying to do some sort of harm, it's going to be that's a really good wording that I like, is the verbal boundary testing. Yes, I will let you in to help me with my groceries. They're like, oh, okay, well, this is easy. Or you can be like, no, thank you. Are they going to push again, or are they going to walk away? Because if they're going to push again and be like, oh, but that really looks like a lot, that's boundary number 2, and they're going to try and push that again. And if you're seeing that happen, that's a huge red flag to me. I saw your hand up.
Yeah, so I had a situation Kelly reminded me about. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was in my driveway working near my garage. And
We're not very trusting people.
So this gentleman started walking up to me, and he had his hands both in his pockets.
And he looked frightened.
And he was and I didn't recognize
hair was going this
him.
way.
Yeah.
Just,
So it was just a, all right, stop right there. Just stop.
Take your hands out of your pocket. What do you
your
have in your
hands out of
pocket?
pockets.
And I'm like,
and then don't approach me, with conceal, just because. And
who was our neighbor?
Really wanted to know what we did for our taxes.
It's like, hey,
Well, maybe that gentleman needs a little self-awareness too.
He respected it. He instantly was
Yeah,
like, I'm
just like-
sorry, like.
But that'll also
you know?
teach you who that neighbor is.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't respect that, I'd be like, I don't trust you. You're not coming to the next 4th of July
Never
barbecue,
talk to
sir.
us.
Like,
What I heard you say though was you took authority of the situation immediately instead of feeling you didn't care what you were if you're gonna look weird or feel weird. Because I know me in my past, there's times where I was like, if I felt like I was being followed. God, I don't want to be weird. I want to give this person grace. When it's like
It's kind of like what she was talking about.
exactly,
Yeah.
And it you took authority immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad to hear that
It
from
might
a
be
man
one
too.
enough, like okay, now you have the
Trust
authority
me
or
or
whatever.
whatever,
Like, I'm not gonna go for that guy.
Yeah.
If anything, it at least postures you as someone who's not taking crap. And they're like,
Well, we
if
were
I'm
in
gonna
a
pick
vulnerable
someone.
position too. We were down working in the grounds. We were all like not prepared. And then I was like, well, what do I do? Do I go get my gun? I'm sitting here on all fours, like, what do I do? Like, so I was like listening, like, do I need to prepare to and it was like one of those weird
Yeah.
situations in your own yard. So.
Those are those same kind of words, like she was
That
just saying,
verbal posturing.
verbal posture, but also you're in a transition, you're in a weird type of situation that we're not going to train for how to respond to emergencies from your back or all fours, but sorry, but that's
I had heard a story just recent, I think just prior to that, of some friends or people that we were aware of that were in their garage on a Sunday afternoon.
It was my
working.
uncle's neighbor.
Yeah, that had actually had an incident where somebody came in.
And actually fought the homeowner who's mowing his lawn. Somebody went into his garage. His wife and kids were inside their home. And garage's door was open like we all do. And he was mowing and he had some acreage. And when he came back, somebody was in his garage. And so he started fighting them and to get him to not go into the home. And his teenage son saw what had happened and had his mom call 911. He went out and engaged in the fight with his dad to stop it. But it was like, it hit me like, crap. We leave our garage doors open all the time, never even think about it.
you think it's part of your space. You feel like your nest. It feels like this is where I'm like able to go. Okay, I'm working on something, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trust, but trusting your intuition, even if it's a weird way to have a story down the road. Of, this is my best friend, my neighbor. The first time we interacted, I almost shot him. You're breaking the ice that way, but yeah. Go to the next one. So this is where we're going to start talking about that perception and thinking about also being able to start creating distance too. Don't really want to be retreating like if you were not in a position where when you are in a position where you can retreat, you want to start making moves kind of backing away, but not in a straight line. Because if that person is really going to be continuing in that same, I'm going to continue to make my beeline towards you. If you can move around through a doorway, start making space, have your hands up, start talking crazy to them, that kind of thought process. So.
Yeah. It specifically says too, and that's a highlight, is to like Zach said, not go straight back. Because if you think like equal force makes equal force, you're straight back, they're coming in a straight line. Their full forward force and momentum is going to get you. And when you're moving back, you're to the full disadvantage as well, in the sense that you don't know what's behind you. Your balance is in a backward momentum, which is not a natural way of moving. So you're much easier to be pushed off your balance. So when you're not moving straight back, you also want to think about widening your stance a bit to make yourself less, linear with that person, and even just angled so that your body has a better brace if by chance they were to catch up to you. So when you're, moving back this way, your feet are going to naturally take that stance position. So you're already kind of moving into a better, foundationally based stance.
If you wouldn't mind, Craig, kind of giving us more, a slide later, but talking about that balance. If you could, is there?
Mystic battery.
Can you go to the next slide? I don't know who has the slide control, so I look. I think that's the real
Skipping
right?
forward, yeah. But part of that is being able to get to the point where you can kind of start to feel the balance that you're talking about. But strength, this is my second one. So if you can push, I'm going to be. I don't work out. I work out. our center of mass. So when you're doing this and walking backwards, it's probably not what we're wanting to do. If we're doing this, you're gonna be able to have a lot more stability. So having your hands close to your chest, he's gonna be good.
The key was when you were pushing down on me, if I pull and push up as hard as I can, I have nothing.
Right.
Then the close in here, I can hold you.
So that's come to mind where you're not just wanting to be like, hey, 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 hey. You're gonna be, hey, 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 hey.
Once they've gotten close to you, really, the center of gravity up.
The other piece of that too, keep your arms back out. So if you notice when you start pushing down, he's wobbling forward, pulling forward, right? But when you're tight and in your close, like even if I'm pulling you, you're still steady base. Because the whole goal is that you want to center your own center of gravity. So the wide feet, bring that to center, and then bringing this in tight. Because the more extremities you have outward, the more opportunity you have to be pushed, pulled in different directions.
Because if they do have a bad intention, they're going to be reaching for you, right? So as you grab that, as he's trying to come for me, I'm going to be able to kind of. It's going to be easy to pull them off that. You're going to be pulling a back muscle.
I got a couple.
So but that demonstrates where they're going from one line. If we can move over and really just be like, okay, that was your intention to move past me.
Use their momentum against them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the second key there too, is leverage beats strength, right? That's why sometimes we talk about pressure points, because it gives you a bit of movement. Or you talk about joint manipulation. It's weak points that give movement already in a continual momentum. Versus you want the leverage to be able to shift things in the direction that it's going. Versus trying to use that strength and muscle. Like especially, truth be told, I mean if someone's out there and they're trying to cause harm, trying to do what they're gonna do, if you're doing that as a weak person, well, God bless you, you probably are a little nutty in the head, you know?
Which is his own problem in and of itself.
Right.
It's not unrealistic, so we're aware too, but yes.
Right. I mean, for us as women, like if a man's gonna attempt to overpower you, typically we are smaller in stature, like, you know, so yeah, you don't want to try and muscle that. You want to push, pull, and rotate. That's a lot of that manipulation is using the momentum to go in that way to disrupt the movement that they have going on.
I thought it was neat in her. They've been taking Taekwondo, and there's a big focus on self-defense in their class. One thing that they taught was if you have an opponent come behind you and just grab you, especially being a little kid, pick you up, whatever, you start kicking them, like kick back in their knees and stuff. Just use anything as a, women sometimes we're a lot smaller or shorter or whatever. Using those things as an advantage for us to reach areas that are maybe more sensitive to.
Right. Yeah.
You're definitely just come on up here and just.
No. I have limits.
We do. But no, seriously, yes, absolutely. You're wanting to kind of think, and I don't like to always take it to this worst case scenario, but if I do get grabbed, am I just gonna kind of go limp at that point? Or am I gonna pee myself, try to bite, spit, cuss, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be too crazy, but that is kind of where your mind needs to be, like at a moment's notice. That's more of that going from the white condition wider, not really paying attention, but kind of trying to always stay in that yellow, almost orange if we're mixing yellow and red. So, yeah. Going to the next one, please. We kind of talked about this with me throwing Craig around like I normally do, with the forward balance, imbalance, kind of just talking about putting people off balance as they're coming towards you. It's kind of
yeah, so it's a lot of stuff that we really just touched on too.
Yeah. It's really
like that head tilted up, making sure that I think the head tilted up too. Like, so when I was a kid, I boxed, and if my head wasn't up, like my trainer would intentionally hit me in the face to be like, "Hey, eyes are up. Your eyes have to be up," because sometimes we have that tendency too. Even if you pull in tight, but then you go like this, you can't see what's happening. So you have to keep that head up and continue to like maintain that actual awareness, which can be hard to do, but
especially when everyone's heads are in their phones. everywhere they walk.
I think that should have been a slide in itself, honestly. That is like probably the biggest combatant too. Awareness, really, is phones.
I think when people get thrown off, like they almost want to be able to fly away, right? It's almost like hands out, like getting up and like you want to be based, not off balance, and everything close. So you can't be easily pushed over, can't be easily tripped. Confident, and some of those quick pull trigger actions might show that person that other person is confident. They're not such an easy target. Might be an easier target than some, but not quite as easy as might be thought. They look like they just got prepared. They're not like this. And then you'd almost be pushed over, like push me when I'm like this. Like I already can. But if I'm ready like this, get a little bit better shot.
Because a lot of these predators, if they're interviewed later, I've watched some of these interviews. They'll say that as I was scoping out my next victim, if I saw the parent was engaged, I wasn't interested. I'd rather move to the weaker gazelle, the injured buffalo, the less likely to fight back person. So if you're making eye contact and you're smiling and you're helpful and you're kind, so you can still feel like you're a good person, like Angelica was talking about, but then you notice someone's not responding with a smile, that's where you can start to go, okay, they've crossed that barrier and they're no longer giving me a cordial kind of smile back, and you start to really move that threat assessment a little bit farther up.
I think the last two I would touch on with this too are that maybe feel a little bit counterintuitive. Is this one specifically points out the shoulders relax and the body actually free of tension. Because think about when your kid falls asleep and you pick them up and they're that dead weight, they're so much heavier, right? Like I'm like, how did you double in size just because you fell asleep? But if your kid is up because they have their own muscles tense, it feels lighter. So when you are in a relaxed state, if you think center of gravity, you're centering down on the ground too. Because if you're tensed up, a lot of your weight and your force will be up higher. It'll lift your shoulders up more, and that will inertly throw you off balance because then you become top heavy and you're all up here. Your goal is to keep your weight and your gravity down low.
Cool.
Next slide.
Next, please. Yes. So we're going to be able to go into some of the options that can be a part of your arsenal. I don't personally yet carry pepper spray, but I probably should. So it's something that can be a part of that. He said no. We are actually taking volunteers if anybody wanted to give an example.
I should have brought my video.
It's something that I had to do in the academy, and that was pepper spray, and I'm sure
Craig, you ready?
There's a couple of others.
Yeah. I got a little bit of lemon in my eye this morning. I'm toast.
Craig carries lemons.
A little bit of a funny story. I have 5 sons, and one of them asked to make hot chocolate at one point, so he turned the stove on because they don't want to use the microwave because we're being indoctrinated by Angelica Benoit. Microwave, yeah. So we were using the stove, and he just happened to turn the wrong burner on, and I had I'll take responsibility for this. I had some mango habanero seasoning in like a plastic seasoning container on one of the burners.
And that's how you make homemade OC.
Oh yeah. So we were sitting in the living room watching TV. He turned that stove on, and I smell something burning. And then one of my sons goes, "Hey Dad, what's that smell?" So I walk into the kitchen, and I'm immediately hit by the pepper spray OC version of that. So I'm trying to grab it. It was on fire, but it wasn't across anything more than this big. But I got it outside, but I ended up throwing up because it was so strong, that I was coughing and throwing up and coughing.
Wow.
And, and that was just a couple months ago, So, anyway,
It's like I also can't handle a shot.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I would say the one thing, if you do decide to be someone who carries OC, don't take it lightly in the sense of understand, it requires judgment and training. That's not a joke. It's just not just a casual spray. Because even when you look at the concept of a stream versus cone delivery, think of the spray bottles at your house, right? You can do the direct stream or you can do the cone. And if you're not treating that thing seriously, you're not thinking through that, you have it on a cone spray, and guess what? It's a stormy day out, you're getting hit with that, not them. So, and
Which is why Bobby was saying, no, thank you.
Cause contamination is a real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Does bear spray work better?
Yes, always.
I would rather take the baton or the taser any day over not touching.
I'll get sprayed over taser any day. The taser?
It's gone when it's done. 5 seconds, you're back up and fighting.
That's an eternity there.
I personally would take even CS gas over
Yeah, I'll take CS
I'll
all
take
day.
CS all day.
The CS any day, yeah.
One thing I'll say about pepper
You just get
spray
boogied up.
is it's relatively cheap, right? With a little can, something, you know, and someone thinks, okay, you know, I'm not really quite ready for a gun, or I'm not ready for this, and you want to just protect yourself with something, or you're a teenage kid. Don't just buy one. Buy like 3 or 4 of the exact same one, and waste 1 or 2 of them to test them. In a non-windy day, and in your backyard or something, and test to see how that thing's gonna spray. The worst thing I've ever seen. I used to watch any YouTube videos. People that go to use it, and they obviously spray yourself, and you didn't expect it.
Stand upwind.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
But
the
good
tack
like
down
practice
windows.
is honestly like practice with spray paint.
Ooh.
Or silly string. It's one, yeah.
Or like those.
That too, but
Silly
we all
string.
know how silly string comes out, but I'm still always surprised. It's never the same as I thought, or even spray paint, unless you use it all the time. But who's using pepper spray all the time? Besides a cop, maybe, you know, or I would practice with it. You know, it's even like a gun. You know, if you're not used to a gun, first time you use a gun, you're like, wow, that's stronger than I thought, right? Or louder than I thought.
Well, that's you got soft hands.
The other part of that training too is having the, like, I can't tell you, I mean, it's been quite some years now since I've really worked with this stuff with bin spray, but knowing what the actual distance capability is too. You carry this on you and you're like, oh, I'm good. Someone's moving in, you spray and you don't reach them. Now you've got no spray left and they've covered that gap. I don't know what you got left. Yeah, just take the can out and run.
And I know that Kyle would definitely want us to be bringing this up, that we are actually going to be giving these away today. So that we're going to be raffling them off. What was that? Pepper gel is this bigger one here. 2 pepper spray, and then.
Rub this in your eyes, please.
Yeah. Please, as long as you say please, they have to do it.
Right. Could you please rub this in your eyes? Very bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes.
So in the hopefully very unlikely scenario that you do get pepper sprayed, Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo is best friend.
It'll give you cancer, but it'll help you.
Cancer flavor.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. That's next Tuesday.
But you're alive to catch it
right now. and with the, like, I wouldn't even go into this if we weren't even giving this away, but with there being, or even just talking about purchasing, with there being the opportunity that you may catch that back spray, like, just full clarity is that it will probably freak you the hell out. Your body will feel like it shuts down for the first minute, but you can regain your train of thought and you can continue to move through. I mean, when you're trained on getting sprayed, you have to full load obstacle course.
Fight through it. Keep going. Keep push.
There's a video of me fighting through it, and it is very ugly, and I didn't do it well. But you can do it. Just like dropping stuff.
That's the whole point they do it, right? To show you that, hey, this sucks, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
So don't be so surprised how bad it hurts, and maybe even test it.
We're going to be raffling off someone getting sprayed, actually.
Yes. It's not like,
Yes, sir.
and I'll out myself too.
So
Can use guns, don't like them, so I would rather OC to carry pepper.
So there is 2. These are the kinds, the Saber brands that we have available right now. We have the Ass brand. They're not here, but we are going to be raffling them off, and we'll be getting them to you guys. Whoever wins those, we'll be mailing them to you or getting them to you as soon as we can. The main thought process on that. I think that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, we were getting those and they hadn't come in yet.
Right. Next, please. All right. Here's my example. So now we're going to kind of move into.
He knew that slide was coming.
You were next in line. So we're going to give some kind of practical examples of how some of these techniques work on when you actually do have someone cross that distance, and you need to go hands-on at that point. The first thought process is that wrist grab. I kind of already gave a bit of an example where he was not expecting me to be grabbing him, but the grabbing the tech, yeah. So I'm gonna be grabbing you as hard as I can here, right?
As hard as you can.
Gently, as hard as I can, for example. So I don't remember what he was talking about here, but yeah, breaking the wrist.
Yeah, some music.
Sound of music, is that what someone says?
You want some music? So
That would help.
So as I'm grabbing him, he's going to be moving his wrist out away towards my thumb, which is where that is going to have that weakest point here to be able to break that grip, right? So I'm going to grab the wrist and hold on, and he's going to pull his wrist towards my thumb. There it is.
Towards my own thumb.
Not through my thumb, but away through my thumb.
Yeah, you're right. Towards your thumb.
Because if you see
in
that
my
hand,
thumb.
that's
There's
where
no,
Matt's hand slips.
instead of, because the reason why here, now grab me, the reason why, if I go this way, I'm fighting all of his fingers and his thumb. If I go this way, I'm just fighting that thumb. Most people's thumbs can't hold someone's whole hand.
Your grip
Yeah,
pressure.
I'm not even pushing that hard. You're strong. Your grip isn't as strong as mine was. Right? Everyone heard that. but it's really not too crazy. And the whole thing is, you're not looking to have an arm wrestling match.
And you're using that momentum to get away. We're
And
not
even
throwing
if
a
someone-
punch. We're not trying to say anything. Oh, yeah, haha. No, you're gone as fast as you can.
Yeah. In towards yourself and go. And trust that even if you're half their size, that turn, it's literally nothing.
Yeah.
No, you hold on to me.
No, she's smaller.
I'm small.
She's
so I'm
small.
all-
I'm dyslexic when those things happen.
So even when you're in there too, that's where you want to think about that center of gravity too. Most people think pull back, but I pull back, I'm off balance, he's stable. So now he can essentially shift me wherever he wants me to go. So when that happens, counterintuitively, actually move in, pull your body in closer so you have the most strength coming through your body and you're going to go this way. And
You don't even have to go that hard. Do it even
Yeah.
softer. There's.
Whoa.
And when you step
Round the music.
We're not there yet.
And I realized too at first when I did it, I went here, it went like this, and I thought you would try and run this way and his hand's still there. He's still going to be a little bit off balance, so I'm going to have that bit of advantage. But even when you do it, you want to think about where your next move is too. So like, you move in and just start to go outside the hand, or you're moving, when you push it, you're moving your body in the direction you're going to continue to go, not do it, pause, and then be like, run. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Because it might not make sense. It might not make sense to go to his left side.
You might have nowhere to go behind. It might be a wall.
There might be a wall.
Or there might be a car behind him. So if you can shoulder check him on your way to your right, his left.
But that's part of that spatial awareness too, right? It's
This isn't you have to go left.
Yeah.
The main thing is practice even with someone is have the confidence of knowing after you practice it a couple times, it's not us just up here pretending. Like it's really nothing. That and especially if you use a little bit of body with it, your hand unless they're a champion arm wrestler or something, where they're all they're constantly squeezing that thing, even that.
And I'm just gonna
Your
double
thumb can't
down.
really do too much.
It feels counterintuitive, but you actually want to shift in slightly closer to get that good base of your own weight in, so that you have your full body of strength behind it.
Some
If by
people-
chance you need.
Some people think like when you start pulling,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out. You know, like
Yeah.
it's you would you actually surprisingly want to get close, grounded.
Yeah.
They might think, because if they start using their other hand, at least you're ready for something. You're at least grounded for it. But if you're just trying to get the hell out of there, I mean, it's literally you got a couple seconds.
And if this is all general ideas, so you start to pick up the concept. Because maybe you'll use your other hand to even give more force, and there's some other techniques that can start to build up on that, where you're building up. If they're say someone Sydney size and someone that's 6'4", 6'5", some of these real. I'm 6'7". I'm 6'7". So if you have someone that's got a real big size disparity, maybe they do have a better lock, and you need to come up with a little bit of extra force. We don't have someone that's really got a super big size difference. You can use another arm to really start wrenching down.
So just to recap that, it would be wherever you see that open grip, you're gonna push your thumb to the open space in the grip. is the wrap up of that whole movement.
Are we practicing any of these things today?
If you'd like to, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's more of a, that's more of a homework thing. You know? No, I'm joking. You can definitely, we want to have people pair up with someone that you're comfortable with. We obviously are comfortable with, you know.
Yeah, so we'll go through this and then one more, and we'll leave some open time if anybody's interested in grabbing a partner and doing that. It'll be open space, and if you have questions for us, we'll be around to be able to check it out.
Next slide, if whoever's got the phone.
Next slide.
Next slide.
I've got the phone again.
That this is part of where I was starting to bring in that concept of using your hands together. We're gonna go into kind of a choking motion.
Who's choking?
Hey. PG, yeah. So.
What are your pronouns?
So I'm gonna go ahead and start this example and be grabbing Craig. And you're going to be working to break that by pushing and grabbing a hand and pushing away.
Pray.
Pray? Pray.
Yes. Lean in a little bit first to make sure.
Yep. Lean in and pray. So.
Oh wait. Oh, should I be doing this?
Yeah. You should choke.
Was it this way?
Yeah. Keep going. You have to follow.
Yeah, you have to follow.
And then, yeah.
But you want to sell it. Yeah. A lot of people think. Unless you.
That's wrong player again. Yes. You could kick forward.
Now they're gonna keep going. But a lot of people think, you know, unless you're really strong, you know that like, hey, I'm super strong. In a lot of movies, Jackie Chan, they might sit there, they do the same thing. I mean, it'd be hard. I could hurt Zach doing that, but I'm probably, if he wants to choke me, I'm not breaking this right now. I probably really both hurt each other. But we think pray, and there's nothing he's really gonna be able to do. Get out of there. Especially if you're a start choking. Sounds like nobody's here.
Like you did yesterday. There's one key piece to this that I realized we kind of stepped over a little bit. One of the really biggest things you're gonna walk into this with, especially, is the mindset. Like, you have to, once you now realize that you're being pursued and you're gonna have to do some sort of engagement to disengage, like you're gonna have to be involved in this, you have to turn your brain on to like this confidence mode. I'm going to win this. I'm going home to my family. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, because that's the difference between someone doing. Here, put on. That's the difference between someone doing this and why didn't it work and that. Yeah. Right? There's a very distinct difference.
And a bunch of grabbing and this and hey,
yeah.
off, grab this, hey,
I'm confident and I'm like, I learned this move. It didn't really work. Like, oh man, I'm trusting in this move, but the move didn't work. Or I'm trusting in me. I know I'm going home. This is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, it's.
You can use it out there.
If you had space to run, you were able to go that way. I was almost like, oh wow, you're gone. Like, do I even want to engage this?
Like, the movement of the confidence is enough to even jolt someone off a mental balance, let alone the physical balance.
Know that the force is enough. That upward force is enough if you sell it, no matter your stature. So the confidence could be the key.
Yeah.
She's saying is sell that thing and get the heck out of there. And that person might not be, because a lot of times when it's a grab type situation, no, like off, grab, it's just like this tug and war, and whoever's better at tug and war might win.
And usually the person that's pursuing has that overt type of stature, and they've got a lot more force behind it anyway. So
obviously, this only works if you're facing your opponent, so that's where the awareness comes in the key.
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't
don't
have your back
turn.
turned.
Yeah, that is real. I learned that poorly from the Brewster.
War Rooster.
Ours is
The one that's in the freezer now.
We ate it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's already
Luncheon.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A key one from behind, we didn't really go over this, but this is one. My stepdad was a huge martial artist, and I remember when I was like 13, I had this kid who was way bigger than me. He'd always come up behind me. I was never wanting him to come by in school, and he'd always come up behind me and get me in a headlock from behind. And I hated it because he was strong too, so he'd always kind of pick me up a little bit. And I just felt like there was nothing I could do once he had me in a headlock, because it's already tight, and I'm not gonna be able to pull it, and I just felt so insecure about it, giving me a headlock.
That's the key there too, is we didn't verbalize this out loud, but that protect your airway, right? So from the front, you're doing that prayer to also like kind of tuck your chin and do the prayer. So now you've got two elements of protecting your airways. If someone were to come up behind and like do that choke, if you even can slip a little bit of a hand in there, get your fingers even in there, even though it's tight and it's going to feel stressful, you're still leaving enough open that your airway's open. If someone's got you in a chokehold like that, get at least a finger or two in there, and it still gives you enough space you can breathe. We're good now.
My brain's going. Get me in a chokehold.
No.
We'll go real quick. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Let's see everybody walk out
It might
the
not hurt.
after this, like,
Come on, Zach. Come on, Zach. We need to see it.
Can a real man stand up? Oh, Jesus. We're not gonna really do it. So I'm gonna get hurt. Just get me to a pretend chokehold.
Pretend.
Now, there's really not much I can do here. And if he's already got a great point, if you have nothing else to do, you got to try to at least get that throat clear. But I mean, my jugular's getting pressed. I'm out in about 30 seconds here.
That's gonna be 3 or 4.
Right, calm down. 2 seconds. There's not much you can do with your hands if you didn't already get your hands there in time. Best thing to do,
Kick him in the crotch?
Alright, hold on. Did you really choke me?
I don't think you can do that. Yeah, try to kick him in the
My jugular. The man's
30 seconds. He said 30 seconds.
It's look at my legs. This leg here, and drop all of your weight and bring this over. Grab the
Moving
arm
with that
and
momentum.
as hard as you can. I'm not gonna do it to you, Zach. But if I drop all of my weight, he's either gonna kind of land on me, but I'm gonna roll it. It's a taekwondo move. You always think people want to do this. They think they're gonna. But even Zach, he's a lot bigger than me. I think I'm not gonna muscle him over like this. I gotta get this leg. It feels weird, but look at it. This leg's over here. My whole body's going here. You'd be surprised, like how if you were to actually sell it and drop all that weight down. Now they're trying to pick up 100-something pounds, 200 pounds. That leg back here, and
Think ice
drop
skate.
that weight.
When you're
And
moving
you're
towards that
gonna dump
opening,
them, and
they're
they're gonna
moving
be
toward the weak point. If you're moving this way, you got all that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're putting him off balance.
So you're,
True,
you're
too.
rotating towards the
Hopefully on the ground.
weak.
Yeah, if they got that, if they have that hold that tight, you're not gonna break out of it. You can't, and that jugular, you don't have that much time, and all that flailing isn't really gonna do much. That back here and just taking, not trying to, it's literally dropping yourself and roll. Commit to the damn thing, and you'd be surprised how many people. There are a lot of bark, not as much bite. There might be a little bit of bite. Then after that, they're out there like, I'm getting the hell out of here. This person might know taekwondo.
That confidence will come through different with that move too. Because if you just kind of tuck under and roll a little bit, now you're even more under it. But
If
if
me
you
and Zach were in a
sell
real
it,
fight,
somebody's
I don't know if I'd actually be able to just, even if he tried to let me, to try to literally muscle him that way. That would probably pull my back out, especially if he's pulling. But if I put this here and drop myself, the pivot,
And you're already, to kind of tie back into this, you're now in a runner stance at that point.
Yeah, you're ready to go. And that's
Even if he doesn't actually throw me, you're pointing me one way as the assailant, as someone attacking, and he's facing another way, ready to run.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the whole thought process.
oh yeah, that
Man, I'm
that
seeing
embodies
stars.
really well
Holy
too.
moly.
The idea.
You do smell
I
good,
know.
That really embodies the core concept we're going for though. The leverage versus the strength. Don't try and muscle it. Find those weak points. And there's so much more reading you can do on the pressure points, the wrist joint manipulations, things like those. Like in that sense, you're doing essentially a hip manipulation with your body, or you can manipulate theirs in different ways. But getting that leverage versus the strength is always your way. So just to recap everything we went over: awareness, distance, control. Counterintuitively, you want to actually pull close and move in before you do a move to center your gravity. Center your gravity, gain that confidence in yourself, flip that switch that says, I'm walking out of here, I'm running out of here actually. Do whatever move, what you're going to do, whatever situation you're in, commit fully in full confidence, and then go. Get out and go.
Practice it.
Yeah.
With a partner that's willing.
Keyword.
What do we always talk
You
about?
are now the assailant.
What do we always talk about with gun safety, right? It's not about just having one and knowing the caliber and knowing how to hold it. It's about training with and going shooting one time. You know, it's about training with it every so often. And the more the better, yeah. But because in a life death situation, you pull out that gun, you're shaking, and you know, if you're not really used to it, it's not gonna really do too much for you.
So as we kind of wrap this down, wind this down, does anybody kind of have any kind of questions or thought process to kind of leave on, other than where we're kind of couching it here? If not, throwing it back to Kyle.
Yeah, thank you guys. Everyone give them a quick round of applause. We have a few videos I'm going to post into the Facebook group that go over some of this content, so you can watch the video to know you're practicing. And I have a 11-point checklist that can walk you through just the thoughts from I have no gear on me to I have a gun and what do I do with it, and some of the mindset stuff. So I'm going to drop that content into the group a little bit later today. Thanks again, guys, for going over that. We have a few prizes we want to give out, some pepper gel, some pepper spray, and a few other things. But please don't forget, if you want to learn more about anything homestead, anything bushcraft, anything survival, self-reliance, you've got the festival coming up. Just as by way of example, Angelica and I got invited to it a few years ago by a friend of ours, and they didn't even show up. They invited us to this week-long camp trip. Like, it's one of the first times we've taken our kids camping. We're fiddling with the tent. We met Patrick out there, and our friends didn't even show up, so we were stuck in the woods in a campground with like 500 other people. But it was an enjoyable experience because people recognized that we were new, and they showed us the course schedule. They got us involved with the workshops, and we made a lot of great connections with people. And something we're doing a little bit new this year too, for anyone who is interested in homesteading or being self-reliant and single, we actually have a singles networking event we're going to do, and a singles session being run by Sarah Diamond, who herself is a professional who has her own homestead on her own. So please consider coming out to that if you have time for that. And then I'm going to switch it over so we can give away some of these prizes here. You're all going to have to get involved, because I looked at the sign-in sheet for everyone's name, but if you do not see your name up there, surprise, you won't get a prize. But if I missed your name, please let me know. Got Zach, Sydney, Craig, Gary, Wes, Reagan, Rowan, Kenneth, Delana, Jay, Amanda, Krista, and Patricia. Did I miss anybody? I think I missed Kelly and Steve, is it? Yeah,
Kristen. Is your wife allowed to be in that?
No.
No, you won one last time.
No, I've never won.
You didn't?
I thought your husband's name is Steve. And you said Kristen. Did I miss it? Kristen? I think I
It
missed.
might be Kristen.
I think it was Krista, and I miswrote it. So. Is it T-E-N or?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. We've got everyone's names up there. We're gonna spin for the Are You Ready for Without Rule of Law. This is a card set that has a bunch of content cards for you to. It's a game, and you play through group discussion to see whether you win.
Win out. We normally play it.
Yes,
Scenario based.
So let's see who's gonna win that one first.
Let's go, Craig.
Craig.
It's either Craig or Sydney, so one of them.
Did you win?
Yes.
One name. All right, congrats.
You won a free chokehold earlier.
Howdy.
If it was a little more padded, I would have sold the roll. I would have showed you guys how to cheat.
All right, up next we're going to do the pepper gel by Saber. So So this is the larger container. There are instructions on the back. Do not test this one on yourself.
Can we test it on Craig?
No.
Only if I say
I don't want to see
We're
Craig
willing
trying
to
again.
I'm willing, sure.
Yes.
And I may be pretty willing.
I think it's gonna land on Amanda. There we go.
Hey.
Alright. Congratulations.
It's a sad maker.
Sad maker.
We have one more of the set of the dub rolls, so we're gonna give that out as well.
I spray gel. It's just hard.
I think it's sticking with Patricia.
Patricia.
Alright. Congratulations. There you go. Enjoy. Alright, let's keep going here. Sorry, it's being sketchy. I promise this is not a video.
It's China.
I think it's gonna stick on Kristen.
Kristen,
Here you
alright.
go.
You guys can practice on each other.
Is that the gel or the spray?
Both.
Okay. Just a little bit of myself.
All right, I won some.
No more parking lot incidents for
Please
you.
don't use it on your husband.
What if you use that? You can use that.
Amazing.
Unless you really need to. Alright, I am gonna give away one of our pink Sharpies and one of our blue Sharpies. These are the self-defense Sharpies. You do not write with them, you stab with them.
Oh, good to know. Right.
Very pointy.
You can card my car and be like, yes. Almost Sydney.
She doesn't.
Oh.
I say Cindy doesn't need any more weapons.
I have one.
I think I'm gonna roll again since you have like 18 of them.
Let's one more though.
I don't have an outfit for that.
Okay. That makes more sense.
I think we're going for Jay.
All right.
I'm gonna throw this to you. Right?
Hey.
Congrats, Jay.
Explain what those are, by the way.
Oh, so I'm sorry, I missed part of the class. These, my buddy makes these in Tennessee. He guts the ink weld out of a Sharpie and fills it 1/3 with epoxy and then puts a metal rod that's pointed in there.
Very sharp.
You can use it as a glass break. You can use it as a self-defense tool. I carry them. I'm a Sprinkles fan. Sorry, Bobby. But I make them with sprinkles on them, and I've broken glass with it. You can use it for self-defense. Also, in the non-scary self-defense, it's nice to just have something sharp to poke a hole through or to, puncture something. There's many situations, but the primary is my buddy started making them as kind of a extra tool in your EDC kit, your everyday carry, things that you would just keep with you in case you need it. My buddy Zach, who you heard earlier, him and I work with my friend in Tennessee, so we actually have a ton of them on the table there. Some of them are actually G10 plastic, and they will get through metal detectors. I take those when I go to the bank or to the Chiefs Stadium or to a place that has a metal detector, and I usually put it right in my top pocket here, and because it's plastic, I get right through and I have something to defend myself with. We have the ones with the stainless steel, and then we do have a few of the blue and black ones that are tungsten. So they're a lot harder. The tungsten ones, you can probably break glass or push on it pretty hard about 10 times. The stainless steel, in our testing, you can use them about 5 times really hard, but it's filled with epoxy so that when you go to hold it and use it in a self-defense or glass break scenario, you'll be able to use it a few.
I would say,
few
too,
times.
like say you are in a self-defense situation similar to our mock situations earlier, and you have a feeling something might be happening, and you take out your marker.
And they're like,
And
what is he pulling a marker out?
Well, you might just have it in your hand. They don't know what.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. They don't think you have a weapon. No idea. And some of them are actually colored, to where it's the same color as the marker. You look like you're just someone with a marker.
Can you get through airport security with the plastic ones?
I have only gotten through once, and I've
We
only
are not
tried once.
saying
Just don't say we
anything
sent.
neither
If you
here
get caught,
nor
don't say
there.
we sent.
We
you.
say nothing in that respect.
I think it's interesting. YouTube
Could you have made this any shorter?
I was gonna say, for those of you that have worked in prisons, they don't know
We
you
are
have a
making
weapon
no
unless
Yeah.
they've been to prison.
Yeah. So I have gotten through TSA once, and it was actually accidental. It was in my bag that I carried on, and I actually carry a lot of Milwaukee Sharpies personally for work, and I had grabbed one that was the metal one, and the metal one actually went through the metal detector. No, it went right through. So we don't advertise that, but for most metal detectors where you want to still have something to self-defend yourself with, I recommend the G10 plastic ones. It is gonna break after once or twice of good use, but I have a bunch on the table there if you want to look for that.
Can we test this one out on Greg?
No. I'm pretty sure Zach already did it. But we've got the pink one here, so we're gonna run for the pink one. If Kenny gets it, I'm just gonna hand it to his wife.
Yes.
Oh no.
Thank you.
You give out to your daughter.
Enjoy.
Hey, that's true.
Grandma might want to keep it for herself.
Oh.
Honestly, it's a great parking lot thing to have. I mean, I recommend
Yeah.
anyone have a knife on, you know. It's a great tool to have. It's a great self-defense tool. It's a great thing. I use a knife, gosh, I use it so many times throughout the day, just to pry something, you know, but let alone just knowing I have it in case. But it's a great thing to have in your hand walking through a parking lot.
Let me grab something real quick for you guys. What we're doing with these monthly meetings is we're obviously looking for your guys' impact, input. So I do have a quick survey here. You can fill it out anonymously or let us know. We are looking to learn from you guys what content you want us to bring you. Actually, and to close, I just want to bring up what we're thinking for the future months. We've kind of put a little bit of a dry schedule together. So let me see if I can pull that up for you guys here. Last month we did go over seeds and we went over strategic planning, but we also talked through some of the content that we had previous surveys come back to us, and so this non-lethal self-defense class was from the surveys that previous members had filled out. Our March is going to be at the Longview Mansion, and it's going to be a potluck, but we are going to go over. Chris has somebody, he doesn't know this yet, who's going to come help us talk about medical kits, because we do recognize, you know, you can buy a medical kit for whatever reason. They're really just Band-Aids and a little bit of antibiotic, but there is a need to know what type of medical kit you should carry on your person or have in your vehicle. If you have kids or don't have kids, what type of trauma items should be in there as well, depending on your level of comfort. So we're going to be at the Longview Mansion in March for the potluck, talk about some medical kits and some skills there. Tentatively for the rest of the year, based on the surveys that had been previously filled out, we're going to do some shearing and butchery content. In May is the festival. In June we'll be at the potluck at the Longview Mansion again. We'll talk water filtration and purification, both at your home, at your homestead, and whether you need to have some of those life straws or different tools for when you're out and about and in your kit. In June, we're going to talk about building on the medical kits and on the water filtration kits, some of your bug in, bug out, or car bag or home defense kits, and preparation plans, how to look at and assess your home, your apartment, your homestead for whether it has the right self-defense plan in place for you to just know what type of actions you would take. August, we're going to do planning and preserves. September, there is the Fall Festival. October, we're going to do the fire making and wood processing. Fire making and wood processing. November is going to be fire cider and different fermented drinks and elixirs. By the way, Angelica, I need you to handle that class. And then December, we'll do a Christmas potluck and talk about securing your home specifically during the holiday seasons. A lot of people have extended trips they take, what to do while you're away, how to handle a lot of Amazon packages coming and going, and securing your house during the holidays. Yes, Gavin?
Are these usually more towards the beginning of the month, or is there a certain day in the month that would have them?
These ones in Lee Summit will always be the second Sunday of every month. Yep. The one in Topeka is the third Sunday of every month. here in Lee Summit will be the second Sunday of every month. So if you want to fill out the survey, and if there's nothing on here that you see that you like and you want to hear other things, we're open to changing some of our content. We want to build content that makes sense for the group here. So fill that out if you want to. Are there any questions before we close up shop for today?
Yeah, do we get to practice?
Yes, if you guys want to come up and
Okay,
have
well,
Cindy.
We should just move, honestly, we should move some of the tables in
Yeah,
here.
we want to move some of the tables.
Hey, wait, can I get a group photo of everybody? Real quick.
Patrick, you need to be in the
We gotta recruit someone to take a picture then. You guys have to like mace each
I-
other with the things first. Or pick a willing participant.